Hello everybody. Alright, we're here on a Windows machine because I cannot afford the Macs that can now run VR. And we're going to take our Unity level that we've played with in the past and we're going to drop in the SteamVR plugin and see what kind of goodness that gives us right out of the gate. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this level that we should all be familiar with if we've been following along with other videos. Alright, lighting simulation's been all baked in, and here's all of our stuff that we had before. For now, we're just going to leave everything as is with the same physics and everything that we had in this game, which is really good to highlight that we can take almost anything that we've created and turn it into a VR experience. Step one, I'm going to go to the asset store over here. I'm going to go ahead and type in SteamVR. Let's search for that. I could filter it to free only, but it should be right here. So here's the SteamVR plugin from the asset store, and I'm just going to go ahead and import that. I believe because I've already downloaded this for another project, otherwise you'd see a download button instead. Okay. Something dinged at me, but I'm not sure what. Minimize this, make sure there's nothing going on behind the scenes. Couldn't decompress package. Okay, I'm now on my second cup of coffee. So what happened is for whatever reason, the SteamVR plugin that I already had in a temporary folder that Unity saved for me just couldn't be decompressed. So I went and found that folder. I deleted the old download, and I'm going to download this again. This may take a few minutes. Actually pretty fast comparatively. All right, here's the magic, and we want everything, right? So we've got all this kind of stuff. SteamVR originally did not come with all the bells and whistles. They've continued to add to this, so we get access to teleportation. We get access to some of the assets you'll find in Valve's Lab VR experience. There's just a lot of goodness here. So I'm just going to say, go double click all, or click it anyway, if not a double click. Just make sure we're getting everything and import. Sure, we'll go ahead. Go ahead and accept all of these recommended settings. And they're happy we did. Okay, we've got it. We've got everything we need. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to go back to my scene where stuff's actually going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and we had a number of possible players in here and cameras. I'm going to turn this guy off. So if we tried to play now, we wouldn't have a camera. We just have a light. So I'm going to go down here to my assets, and I've got this SteamVR. And we'll go to prefabs, and the first thing to do is drag our camera rig in. And I'm going to keep it underneath this cameras and players, and it should just drop out right to 0, 0, 0, which, because we start on this particular platform, is not quite what we want. Focus in here. I think this is going to be a larger world than than it appeared when we had just players on a 2D screen. So I'm curious how big these things are. I'm going to sidetrack for a minute. I'm going to drop in a cube, and that's a 1x1 cube. And if we took that cube to 1.8, that would be the average height of a human, or a human male at least. That actually seems about right. Okay, so for whatever reason, when we were creating this level to begin with, we decided that a Lego character should be about twice the height of an ordinary person. That'll make things fun. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And we're back to SteamVR. Okay, so we're not going to mess with any of this other stuff just yet. We've got our camera rig. And we've got controllers, and that's all well and good. There's a little more you've got to do now to set this up. So we're going to go ahead and take the camera rig, and we're going to add a player component to it. So I'm just going to come down here, add component, and we're going to make this the player. And what we want to do here is start adding in the head and the possible hands. So we're going to take the head here, we're going to add in the camera, the eye camera that we should already have in the scene. And then we're going to do some funny stuff with the hands. So let me go in here. So I've got camera rig. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to create an empty child object here. And we're going to call this left hand. Go back to the camera rig, do that again. And wouldn't you know it, this is going to be the right hand. Okay, go back to left. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this knows it's a hand. So part of the SteamVR kit is we get a hand script. Jump back to right, do the same thing. Now we need to tell each of these hands what they are. So this, I'm on the right hand, right? And it says starting hand type. Let me just tell that it's the left hand. That it's the right hand. And then the other hand, we need to link back to left hand. So you literally need to tell one hand what the other is doing. The other hand of this hand's other hand is not this hand. Okay, we're going to fix that. So left hand defaults to left, and it needs to know that the other hand is the right hand. So cool. Right now, if we start this up, we won't have any kind of prefab set up. And I think what that will do is that will default us to this blank controller, but we're going to go ahead and throw that in. So I want this to be a blank controller for the prefab, and this gives us the Vive controllers. We can create other prefabs and use them as hands, and we will. We may demonstrate that one day. I've done that in another project. So same thing. I'm going to go over here, blank controller. That should all be well and good. Let me go back to the camera rig up here. That's the player. Now that I have hands, I need to go down to this player script and tell it what the hands are. So element 1, we'll just say is left hand. Element 2, again, we click the little circle and we'll tell it right hand. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here, and this is my camera rig prefab, and for the purposes of this project, this is what I want a camera rig to do. So I'm just going to apply all this back to that prefab that we downloaded from Steam. Now if something happens here and we drag this back out, we've got our left and we've got our right hands already set up. So we could start this right now and be all well and good. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit more. So in my cameras and players, I'm also going to go and add the ability to teleport. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Valve, Steam, Unity, and everyone involved for making this possible. So we just need to drag this teleporting ability, this script, into our scene. I'm going to go ahead and I'm wondering if I can make it a sub component of the camera rig, but I'm going to leave it out here by itself for now. That's on, the camera rig's on, and now what we need to do is to bring out some teleport points. And so that's easy to do. I'm actually going to close this because I don't want this in the cameras and rig. I want this just kind of out in the world. Here's a teleport point. And it's really cool about just dropping them where it assumes that my mouse is at, so it can basically find the ground, right? So it comes up as long as we've got some collision on it. So we can teleport forward. We can teleport forward again to this. I'm going to just leave a possible trail of breadcrumbs here. Just going to drag a bunch of these teleport points out. And this may be jarring. And I don't even know if I can teleport that far in scale here. Actually, I think that should work. And then finally, I'll get us to teleport over here. And I'm going to do something really funny here. So this is the final piece of the teleportation. I'm going to take this object, this little box that we created, this smaller slab, okay, and I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to take that duplicate and make it a sub-object of the original. And the duplicate I'm going to move up by just a hair, so like 0.01. And I'm going to make this a teleport area. And I really hope this works right off the bat. We've got a box collider, so that's another piece of this that would be important. If we put the teleport area on something that didn't have collision, then it couldn't detect our casted teleportation arc. I'm not sure if I'll be able to reach that, so I'm going to put another point just for funsies on top of that little mountain peak. And I'm going to see if I can get us down to the ground here. And we may find that everything is entirely too far apart for the teleporting, but just for fun, let's go find out. All right, I've got my Vive headset here. It's on, it's ready. It doesn't think it can find one of the base stations, but we'll see what happens. Now, let me turn on my controllers. I've already run my room setup. If you've got access to a Vive, this is where the fun begins. If you don't, I'm not sure why you're watching the video. Okay, headset partially on. Got to loosen it to make room for my headphones. And we're going to give this a shot. All right. Really is not going to fit well over my headphones. Okay. See, I've got controllers here. I'm picking those up. And I am now in a virtual world. Wow, this is a much cooler place. Okay. And I can teleport around. That is a massive Lego. in an even bigger sword. Okay. That's all I can hit, I think. All right, I'm going to stop this and hit play again. I can't quite reach those teleportation points from where I'm standing, so we'll move those closer in. I'm going to give myself a line over that way, and we will do something else with our objects to make them throwable. I'm just taking it all in. What a world. Okay. That was fun. Next time, let's go ahead and maximize on play, and that'll be a more compelling video. Let me come back here to my scene, and yeah, couldn't quite reach that one. So I'm going to grab this and pull it in. Move that one out. Dragging the teleport point in. So the points are fun. If you want to specifically define where someone should be, pardon me, and that's great. And then the other piece is the teleport areas. I still don't know if I'll be able to reach that, but we're going to see. All right, another one down on the ground. This might be a little jarring, teleporting on the, I want to say Z-axis, but it's actually the Y-axis here in Unity. But teleporting up and down can be difficult. I wonder if I can put one like halfway up there. At least it's just teleporting. It's almost insane to assume that your VR players can navigate steps in their flat room. Okay, so we did that. I think that's going to solve teleporting. I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to grab this treasure chest here. I'm going to zoom in on it. We've already got a rigid body component and a box collider. I'm going to make this throwable. And that's all we need to do. So the DET chest is throwable. You can play with the physics on it. If I didn't have a rigid body on it, it would have added one anyway as part of the throwable. And we've got box collider, so that's good. So one thing to note is when you put a rigid body on something, and I think we've covered this in other videos, but it's important here as well. If you've got rigid body and you're using a mesh collider, that mesh collider must be convex, otherwise your object is just going to fall through into nothing. I'm actually going to move this over here where we can grab it. Okay, that's a really, really big treasure chest. And I'm going to see if I can we'll make this guy throwable as well. Box collider on that as well. Awesome. Throwable's already selected. And I'm just hitting F here to frame the objects in question. All right. So everything else has got physics on it, or should. Most do already from our previous experiments. So these two objects will be the only things I can pick up, but I should be able to toss them into just about anything else and wreak havoc. Space tank pod. Oh my, that is a whole lot of stuff. See if I can find which one is the actual. All right, maybe from the outside I can add a box collider. No, nope, not going to let me. All right, well, this guy would have taken a little more work to make. accessible. So we're just going to fly this over here and get it out of our way because I just don't want to experience the disappointment of throwing stuff at it and it going through it. Okay, I'm going to make one more thing over here. Throwable. Don't know what. Oh, let's do the sword. The cube is what it's sitting on. Here's the actual mesh. Make that throwable. That's fun. It added rigid body. It's got all the other goodness. I'm going to add a mesh collider. And as I said, make sure that mesh is convex. So I grabbed the wrong sword. Well, that was dumb. Okay, forget that. Go back to this sword. Ah, yeah, see, I got this. The giant sword up in the sky is now throwable, if we could possibly ever get to it. All right, poly surface. That's what we want. What a mess. And I keep going to the other objects. Just select that. Make throwable. It's already got rigid body. That's wonderful. Add mesh collider. Make it convex. Make for sure that this is the poly surface that I want. What did I just do? I put it on the outer node. Oh, mesh collider is going to be a problem when I try to... All right, those are all the empty nodes. So poly surface 4 is the actual mesh. All right, can't do mesh collider without the mesh. So search for poly surface. Apparently we have a few. More than a few. And I got the wrong one. Well, I really wanted this to work. We'll try it again. Got too many poly surfaces. That actually looks right. We'll make that it. Yes. All right. So it's around it now. Sweet. That was a lot of work. Now we just have to hope that it pays off. Okay, controllers are on. Let me get my headset again. And we're going to hit play. Okay, I'm in. The controllers are in. We have teleporting. I have a treasure chest that I can pick up and throw. Oh, yes, that is fun. Okay. See, now I'm really wishing I made tacos throwable. It's raining tacos. It did, didn't it? All right, now let's see if we can teleport to this area and use a sword. Getting a little bit of vertigo. Oh, all right. Having an issue. I can't reach that. I can't reach anything else. I'm stuck now. Yeah, so the arc only goes so far. But I tricked this. Oh, look at that. So I was able to somehow get inside this slab. And now when we have teleport area on, I can really teleport to any point on it. Now I'm on top of a mountain. You can see off over there, there's a treasure chest we threw. What a world. Okay, I'm going to go in. Oh yeah. Except nothing else on this slab has physics, I think. So with the controller grip trigger held down, I can retain ownership of the one object while teleporting around, so that's cool. I really wanted to smash something up with this sword. Oh, so close. Okay. If I could just get over there. Yep, not quite. All right, well, anyway, you can play with teleport points. As you can see, I do have a massive sword. I need to go break some stuff with it. We've got this ridiculous world that we built for other tutorials, and now it's a full-on VR experience. SteamVR kit really gave us a lot of cool toys to play with, between the rig and the hands, and of course the physics, teleportation, and making things throwable. So go enjoy your newfound powers. Use them only for good. I think I'm just going to hang out here for a while.